Past alphas of the Jarrett family chose their wives from the Brighton family, where Meghan was from. The case of the wife of the alpha being his mate was not a necessity for the Jarrett clan. Their marriages were strictly political. The former alpha, Ronald, chose Meghan Brighton to be the next Luna. To everyone's surprise, however, Meghan turned out to be his son, Richardson's mate, leading everyone to believe theirs was a union of love. Richardson and Meghan had been friends since they were young cubs, growing together as they were to get married in the event of the alpha's demise. They worked together on how to rule the pack together. Meghan was the perfect Luna. Until this day. "I accept the divorce," Meghan said before the priest. Taking everyone in the courthouse by surprise, they had heard the news of the divorce but thought Meghan would put up a fight and not relinquish her role so easily. Even Richardson was surprised. Aspen tried her best to hide her smile of relief. "And I ask for permission to leave the pack and remarry." The murmurs grow even louder. What does she mean? Leave the pack? That's absurd. The king will never allow that. Meghan smiles. In the event of an unfortunate divorce, the previous Luna can seek permission to remarry and/or leave the pack, if she so wishes. Meghan quotes from one of the Constitution books she had to read growing up, in preparation for her role as the Luna. "But who will you marry, my queen? I mean Meghan?" the priest asked, looking and feeling very sorry for Meghan, and she hated the look of pity on his face. "Yes, Meghan. Who will you marry?" Richardson asked, ready to appeal whatever constitution that was. "Can I come in now?" a voice asked. Everyone turned behind them to the entrance of the courthouse, where Rhode Wales revealed himself to the crowd. The alpha and leader of the Wales clan, with whom the Jarrett clan had shared many diplomatic relationships in the past. Everyone in the room was now talking, not bothering to honor the presence of their ruler. Richardson Rhode was famous among the werewolves. His brutal way of ruling his clan and his clear intentions to make them rise as the #1 clan. Everyone was surprised as to how Meghan and Rhode could have met, as she never left the castle grounds. "Meghan, don't tell me dash." Richardson starts. "He is the one I will marry," Meghan says, Rhode standing beside her. 4 months earlier, Meghan was attending to her duties in her office, signing the papers that were required of her to sign when one of her ladies, Brianna, entered the office. "I told you not to come in unless it was urgent," Meghan said, not looking up from the paperwork in front of her. Her and Richardson's rule had successfully transitioned the Jarrett clan to a successful empire, and were in the process of transitioning to an autonomous kingdom in the east, and even though she was referred to as the Queen or Luna, her position was technically that of an empress. However, to retain the values of their pack, she preferred being called Luna or simply Queen. "But it is, Your Highness. The king requests your presence," Brianna said. That was odd. She had not seen Richardson in about a week now since their last meeting with the council. "Okay, I'll be there shortly." "Where?" she asked. "His office," Brianna responded. Meghan got up and headed for Richardson's office. She had not been in his office in over a year. A place where she and him would hide to talk when tired of all their official duties, but after 4 years of marriage without providing an heir. His demeanor towards her gradually became cold and distant. Now she only saw him to discuss the affairs of their pack or kingdom when he wanted to. Meghan got to the door of his office and said to the guard stationed there, "Please let him know I am here." "Sir, your Luna is outside." "May I let her in?" the guard asked. "Yes." She heard from inside. Meghan knocked and entered into his office. "You sent for me, Your Majesty," Meghan said as she closed the door behind her. "Yes. A minute," Richardson said, finishing up what he was writing on his desk. Meghan stood tall, waiting for him to offer her a seat. When they were still a functional couple, she needed not to follow such formalities. However, that was not the case anymore. "Oh, you may sit," Richardson said, dropping his pen and looking at her. Meghan walked close to his table and took a seat opposite him, anticipating what he had to say. "Aspen is pregnant," Richardson said. "I don't understand," Meghan said, looking straight at Richardson. It was the first time he had summoned her in a week. He had been communicating with her through the ground omegas, as the sight of her simply disgusted him. "Was I unclear?" Richardson asked, patience thin. "No, you weren't. I don't understand why you're telling me that Aspen is pregnant. What does that have to do with your summoning me?" Meghan asked, unsure of what he was getting at. I'm the father, he said curtly. In that instant, Megan's already crumbling world shattered. She will be moving to the castle. You should do well to welcome her. You are best friends after all, Richardson said. You are dismissed, he added. Megan got up from the chair and moved to leave his office. Do you not bow before your king before leaving his presence? She heard from behind her. Megan turned around and looked Richardson dead in his eyes, something she had not done in a while. She bowed and said, Your Majesty, and she left his office. My queen. The guard acknowledged her presence as she walked away. Megan walked slowly back to her chambers. Her ears were ringing with memories of her and Richardson's childhood playing in her head. She got to her chambers and said to her ladies, I would like to be alone. They all looked at each other and exited the room. Megan had never made that request before, but they read the room and left. As soon as she was alone, Megan broke down in tears. Aspen, her very best friend, was pregnant with her husband. Megan wanted answers but knew she wasn't going to get it from either of them.